of him behind the wing backs, opposition wing backs, and that's clearly what they're trying to do. You know, the slope here sometimes in the ball is just taking it away. Maybe second half it'll hold up a little bit better for them, but I think that's definitely an area they're trying to target.
Now, just before half time, now we were just climbing up the gantry here, so we just about caught it. There was a now from my perspective, it looked like it might have gone in, the chance there at the end. I don't know, did you manage to catch that?
Yeah, I saw it, and I mean, there's a couple of times it looked like it had gone in. The only thing I'd ever say there is that in that situation, the linesman is in a good position. He's right on the line, so he's looking across it. If he says it doesn't go in, it doesn't go in, but they almost broke because Bury were celebrating, weren't they?
Now we're approaching the second. Well, we're going to have the second half, obviously coming up.
Yeah.
Obviously, what have you made on as far as Chadderton are concerned? You know, is the game plan been to kind of stick back?
Well, we said that before, didn't we? We said they'd probably try and stay in the game as long as they can and keep it as tight as they can. I think they did that the first 20 minutes and then got a little bit more ambitious, got people a little bit higher up the pitch. Again, I think, you know, they'll look at that second half and they'll want to keep it tight. They're going down the slope now, so they might commit a little bit more maybe on set pieces as well. So I think for them, it's the longer they stay in the game and keep it at 0-0, do Bury try and maybe push it a little bit and change the shape, make some substitutions. It's always an interesting one as you get further in the game, the tactical side of it.
Yeah, well, we know Andy Welsh can go a bit gung ho. We were trailing at to Prestwich. Hayes got equalised and then went completely for it. I think we had 2 at the back and got beaten on the counter. He's not one to maybe let things lie if it's going to stay like this.
Well, you know, that's the chance you take, I suppose, and if you want to win the game, sometimes you just got to, certainly at home, you have got to take that little gamble because the opposition tend to just sort of sit in and wait. And I think the longer it goes on for Chadderton, they'll be quite happy with it, you know.
As far as the players we concentrated on before the game, we concentrated on the goalkeeper, Kai Calderbank Park, and Tom Greaves up front. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the goalkeeper first off?
I mean, I've stood at that end and I'm listening to him, and his communication's really good. He's he's talking to people well around him. Ball's come on to him a couple of times. He's got it out of his feet and played quick. And then the couple of occasions he's had to handle it, he's looked nice and clean. So he'll be happy with that. He's a nice, as I said before, he's had a fairly quiet first half. So he'll be quite happy with that. And
at the other end, Tom Greaves.
Well, you know, Tom's been a little bit on scraps at times. But what he does do is when it goes up to him, he holds it up well. He brings other people into play. You know, he's up against 3 sort of quite physical centre halves there, but his movement's really good. Again, I think, you know, get some width on the play for Bury, get some crosses in and let him make a few runs across them, and he'll cause problems. But typical Tom Greaves' performance, you know, he looks threatening if he can get him in the box.
Now, if you were the Chadderton manager, what would you be saying to those players at half time?
I'd be telling them they've done really well, because I think they've probably carried out the game plan that they've come with up to this point. So they look like got 1 or 2 young lads in there as well that have got a bit more confidence as the game's gone on. So again, I'd be saying to them, concentrate, don't give silly set pieces away, make sure we mark properly at set pieces against for us, and try and stay in the game as long as we can. And you know, I think they will commit a little bit more as down this hill. I do think they will do that.
Yeah, the hill. I don't know how it comes across on camera.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Because I've been here so many times over the years, and I'm stood there looking at it thinking it looks more than I've ever noticed it, but when you're on there, you don't. It's a funny one with any slope. We're the same. We've got a slope at Barnton, as you know, and sometimes you just don't even notice it, and then other times it just becomes really. I've noticed it more, I think, with the wind going that way and a couple of balls that you hit, which have not been bad balls, but the wind's just taking it, the slope's taking it, just takes it out of play. So, like I said, I think maybe this half going up that way, a few of the balls will hold up for them.
And as far as at the other end of the goalkeepers, we've seen Bury AFC's goalkeeper, Chadderton's goalkeeper, got himself in a right bit of a mess before, didn't he?
Yeah, again, he looked quite young, and he looks a little bit nervous with crosses coming in. I think a couple of times he's made a little bit of a mess. I mean, he got a foul against him, didn't he, when they scored, which, you know, these days they're probably going to give that. But I think that's something that maybe Andy will say, look, let's deliver a few balls in there. Certainly set pieces, get them right underneath the crossbar.
Now, thinking about your own side, 1874 Northwich, what's the plan for you at the moment? Have you got a game tomorrow? Is that still going ahead?
No, we're not going ahead tomorrow. We're supposed to play the derby against Vix, and the two clubs have decided that with the new restriction that came into Cheshire, because we were tier 2 up until the other day, we just need a bit more time to organise that level of game, really. So we've both agreed to put that off. So we're due to play now on the 2nd away at Earlham. So we'll prepare for that. We'll train in the next couple of days and get prepared for that, really.
So as far as what the club needs to prepare for that game, you said that the clubs have decided themselves not to play that game.
Well, it would always be, obviously it's a local derby. You'd be talking probably normal occasion. 600-700 people there. Obviously, we could have had 300 with it being in Tier 2, so that was probably just about all right to go ahead. With the 150, it wouldn't allow us to let any of their fans in, which we didn't think was fair. And plus there were one or two other things I think they wanted to do around the ground for safety from that point of view. So the league have been great, the league understood. Vix were totally with it as well. Hopefully we can play it later in the season when we can get more people in.
Now, I've got to ask you a question on these lines because, we've got Bury AFC. Bury FC still exists in some form or another. You manage a side that has a fierce rivalry, a very weird history from Northwich Victoria. What's that experience like as far as, there's two clubs in the town now?
It's quite interesting because the two clubs themselves, we get on quite well and from a management point of view and coaching point of view, playing point of view, everybody knows each other, we're all okay. Obviously there's a rival when we play, but at certain stages there are some of the fans that will, and you'll know this, will never forgive us for moving away, I suppose. So there can sometimes be a little bit of a, let's say, a tense atmosphere at the games. But I think both clubs have got their own trajectory now. We're trying to do what we're trying to do. Vix are trying to do what they're doing, and so off the field we get on okay. But it's a difficult one, and I understand the passion when the two teams do get together. And you may have that in future. You never know. When somebody's been supporting a club, I suppose, all their life, they perhaps don't really understand why, and there are obviously various reasons why our club broke away. Why you would want to form another one? You've got your reasons for doing that. I'm sure really good intentions, and I can see that around the place. It's difficult because I suppose some people just never forgive, never forget, do they?
As far as like signing players or anything, are there any unwritten rules? Could you ever bring in a Vix player?
I don't think we've got a couple of lads with us now that have played for Vix. Again, lads that I've known for a while.
So it's not like Carlos Tevez or something.
It's not like that. No, we've never had an occasion where I suppose mid-season somebody's gone from us to them or vice versa. So I don't know if that would be something that either myself or Steve Wilkes, the Vix manager, would shy away from. At the end of the day, it's non-league, and lads just want to play football. That's the bottom line. So for me, if a player was available and if somebody that we thought could improve us, I don't really care who he's played for, if I'm honest.
Brilliant. Right, well, that concludes our bit of a chat for now, but we will be back for the second half. And I should also remind you as well, and make sure you tell anyone else as well, it's 50p to stream this game. We're at half time now, it's 0-0, there's everything to play for, and you can get involved and watch the rest of the stream if you go to buryafc.uk. The money today is going to Bury Hospice and Bury VCFA, which is a voluntary organisation in Bury. It's only 50p, so there's absolutely no reason not to. If you were at the game, it is a good game.
It's a really good game. It's worth watching.
He's doing the sell. We'll definitely have you back again, Wayne. But yeah, just before we do go then, so second half, are you thinking this could be a Bury win?
I think Bury look the more likely team to win it. They've had the better opportunities. They're just going to have to be careful. You mentioned there, they don't get hit on a counter attack. So I think Andy will probably look at this and tweak his team maybe after 10 minutes or so, whether that's players he's got on the field tactically or off the bench. Certainly got players that can do that. So I think the longer the game goes at 0-0, it possibly favours Chadderton to maybe get a bit braver and try and nick something. But it's interesting. It's a really good game to watch. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I suppose that goes for anyone who's not watched a Bury AFC game before. It's non-league. It's not park football. It's not pub football, is it? There's good players here.
There's some good players. There's some good passages of play. There's plenty of physicality in the game, and there's been some great incidents already. So, as I say, it's well worth a watch. So tune in.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's 11 players representing Bury, which is
all you wanted.
Which is all we ever wanted.
Which is brilliant. It's great to see. Yeah, it's great to see.
Right. Well, we will be back for the second half, and in the meantime, we'll bring you maybe a bit of the coverage of the pitch. There's nothing going on in it yet, but there will be eventually, and then we will come back to Roch Valley Radio, Adam and Morris, who are bringing the commentary there, and we, Wayne and I, will be joining you after the game for a bit of a chat, a bit of an analysis. Hopefully, an AFC win. Who knows videos. We might even try and bag a player, but it depends if we survive on the gantry, because we're on it's a little bit rickety to say the least. But yeah, we will be back for the second half. So tune in and make sure, if you haven't already subscribed to the stream, get on that and tell everyone else to as well, because it's all for a good cause as well.